races to explain. It must be stressed, though, that this is not a running book. There are plenty of running books out there, and as a runner I have read many of them. But they are insiders' accounts written for other insiders. Whether or not a runner should forefoot or heel strike or aim for a cadence of 180 strides per minute is a question only of significance to runners whose self-involvement extends all the way to the soles of their feet. But one of the many pleasures of Endure is how convincingly Hutchinson broadens the stakes. In one of my favorite passages from the chapter on pain, Hutchinson writes of the attempt by Jens Voigt to break cycling's 1-hour record. Voigt was famously indifferent to pain, but when he climbed off his bike after breaking the record, Hutchinson tells us he was in agony. The pain he'd been pushing to the margins of his consciousness came crashing down. That is a cycling story. But in Hutchinson's hands, it also becomes a way of asking a much deeper and more consequential question about how our physiology interacts with our psychology. In a wide variety of human activity, achievement is not possible without discomfort. So, what is our relationship to that pain? How do the signals of protest from our brain interact with the physical will to keep moving? You don't have to be a maniacal cyclist to appreciate that discussion. If anything, that discussion is likely to dissuade you from ever becoming a maniacal cyclist. Everything was aching, Voigt said. My neck ached from holding my head low in that aerodynamic position. My elbows hurt from holding my upper body in that position. My lungs hurt after burning and screaming for oxygen for so long. My heart hurt from the constant pounding. My back was on fire. And then there was my butt. I was really and truly in a world of pain. Oh, man. It was painful just to read that passage. Does Endure solve the puzzle of the anomalous race? In one sense, yes. My problem, I now realize, is that I tried to make sense of those performances using an absurdly simple model of endurance. The time I ran was my output, and so I worked backward and tried to identify the corresponding inputs that must have made it possible. Did I take 1 day of rest beforehand or 2? How quick was that hill workout the week before? Is there something to be learned from the last set of intervals I did? The data that we gather from our GPS sports watches makes this kind of thinking even more seductive. It encourages us to paint a simple picture of how and why our body moves through the world. After you've listened to Endure, I promise you'll never settle for the simple picture again. There are many things Garmin cannot tell you, and luckily for those many things, we have Alex Hutchinson. Endure. 2 hours, May 6th, 2017. The broadcast booth at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, a historic Formula One racetrack nestled in the woodlands of a former royal park northeast of Milan, Italy, is a small concrete island suspended in the air over the roadway. From this rarefied vantage point, I'm trying to offer thoughtful guest commentary to a live streaming audience of an estimated 13 million people around the world, many of whom have rousted themselves out of bed in the middle of the night to watch. But I'm getting antsy. The race beneath me is hurtling toward a conclusion that almost no one, through months of speculation and spirited debate, had considered possible. Eliud Kipchoge, the reigning Olympic marathon champion, has been circling the racetrack for 1 hour and 40 minutes behind an exquisitely choreographed formation of runners blocking the wind for him. And, remarkably, he's still on pace to run under 2 hours for 26.2 miles. Given that the world marathon record is 2 hours, 2 minutes, 57 seconds, and given that records are usually shaved down in hard-fought seconds,